Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And this video is actually a response to a competition that Bryer is doing on his channel, Bryer's Music Showcase. Great channel, a good friend that I've made over this last year. He just reached over 1,000 subscribers, so congrats to you, Bryer. That's amazing. So happy that you got to accomplish this. I mean, absolutely incredible. Of course, love the channel, love collaborating with you. And so Bryer made this competition of creating your own album compilation, basically, of songs that have some kind of theme of some kind anyways. And I'm picking songs that have a theme to my life and to moments in my life anyway. So that's what I'm going to go through here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on a Monday, late afternoon, early evening kind of period. And yeah, I'm going to throw in my list into the competition for Bryer's Music Showcase. Yeah, you get to make a compilation of songs. You get to pick songs and they have to have a theme to it. And there's 3 different kind of ideas or themes you can go with. My idea in this was I was going to go with a theme that kind of explained my theme of my life, I guess. It has stories that are significant to me in my life. And when I was thinking about, songs that really resonate with me in my life, I had to think of songs that I remember, that explain my different relationships I've had with different girls and, either songs that were popular at the time, maybe that I remember listening to that made me feel a certain way about a girl, or songs, that just, I remember after maybe a breakup, I remember listening to the song and it really resonated with me. I have a lot of those songs on here, but yeah. So this, I have 14 songs here that I've picked that I have a story kind of somewhat behind a lot of these songs. I'll explain in here. That kind of goes through my history of relationships a little bit. Not every single one, but definitely some significant relationships I've had in my life. And you kind of learn a little bit about me through this, through these songs and this music, hopefully. Anyway, so that's what I got for you, Bryer. First song I picked on here is I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. And I picked this song just because I thought this was the perfect song to start when you first start feeling, these feelings of love towards women. For me, I remember, of course, once you get to be like a preteen, you're really like looking at the opposite sex and starting to go, they look pretty good. Like I want to spend more time with those kind of people, girls, and definitely other guys and girls are, having relationships at that time, and middle school, junior high area, where you're seeing couples holding hands and their boyfriend and girlfriend, and you're looking at them thinking, gosh, I want to be like that. I want a girlfriend and I want to hold her hand. Like that would be so exciting. So I Want to Hold Your Hand is definitely a song that really, I think, encapsulates that first feeling of infatuation with the opposite sex and that feeling of innocent love of, man, I just want to hold her hand. Like that's the first step, it seems like, in the relationship. And, and finally, I did get a girlfriend when I was in the 7th grade. I was 13 years old, girl that was in my class named Kate. Of course, knew her for a while, but definitely was noticing her more at that period, and definitely was flirting with her quite a bit. And she seemed to flirt back with me. She seemed like she liked me. So I was like, took a chance, asked her out to be my girlfriend, whatever. And she said yes. And, that was my first girlfriend, first love, I guess, of my life. And we only were girlfriend, boyfriend for about 3 months. Relationships don't last that long usually in junior high, high school area, at least not for me. They never lasted very long. It's just a, quick thing. But I definitely was, somewhat in love with her at the time, but whatever I thought love was. And I was very happy. Those were great 3 months for me. And I had my first kiss with this girl, again, in 7th grade. Yeah, and when I was 13, we were at a friend's house and we played Spin the Bottle, in my opinion, greatest game ever invented. Anyways, but we played Spin the Bottle, except for we only kissed our girlfriend, so it wasn't really a true Spin the Bottle. I guess we cheated. It was just an excuse to kiss our girlfriends, I guess, because there's three of us guys and three girls, and those are our three girlfriends. And the six of us were together. And anyways, I had my first kiss doing that. And so I picked for my second song is Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. That was a popular song at the time. That was on the radio actually at that moment. And I remember hearing that song, and definitely was a song that really captured my feelings of how much I enjoyed kissing my girlfriend. That was definitely one of the best moments of my life. And after I kissed her, I was like, man, I really like this. And I really want to kiss girls more. I mean, I want to kiss my girlfriend more, and whatever was my girlfriend at the time. I definitely want to keep kissing girls for the rest of my life. I really like doing that. So yeah, that's definitely a really nice song that gives you those feelings of, having those feelings kissing a girl. Well, that eventually, of course, she broke up with me, and it was the first time I had my heart broken, and I was very, very sad. And so the song I'm picking, number 3, is a song called Yesterday. You might have heard of it, by the Beatles. And the reason why I picked the song is I remember after that breakup, I was very sad and depressed for, quite a while. First time I got my heart broken by a girl, and that feeling of emptiness inside of like, gosh, like I used to kiss this girl, now I can't kiss this girl anymore. And like how sad that is that I can't kiss that girl anymore. And Yesterday was a song I remember listening to. Of course, it obviously came out way before that moment, but it was a song I remember. I was a big Beatles fan, and of course, Yesterday was one of my favorite songs, but it definitely became my favorite song at that moment because I remember listening to that song and just, it really captured my feelings at the time of the emptiness after a relationship, because it says, yesterday, all my troubles were far away, now they're here to stay. And I thought that, oh man, I was like, yeah, yesterday I was happy. I had a girlfriend, I was the happiest guy in the world. Today, I'm the miserable, saddest guy in the world because I no longer have that girl. Anyway, so I thought Yesterday really captured my feelings, and that's why it's still like my favorite song of all time, because I still remember that moment of hearing that song after a breakup and just totally going, yeah, it describes my life. Number 4, well, I'll explain, was fast forward to my freshman year in high school. We used to do, these homecoming dances, and I was at homecoming dance, and it's scary to have to ask a girl to dance, because obviously some girls are going to reject you. There's always this hierarchy of, are you good enough? What girls are willing to dance with me? What girls think they're better than me and won't dance with me? It's always a hard moment if you're kind of shy like I am. But I ended up asking this one girl who was like a sophomore in high school. She was a year older than me, or, a grade higher than me. And her name was Jenny, anyways. And she, I kind of knew her. I didn't really know her real well, but she said yes, I guess, and we danced. And so my 4th song is I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith, because that was the song we danced to. I kind of vividly remember. And it's a really nice, lovely, romantic song, of course, from the movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but the Meteor movie. But yeah, huge song. I love that song, and definitely gave me a lot of romantic feelings. And I remember dancing to that song with her and just kind of looking at her, and I thought she was attractive. And she kind of basically the next day was like, kind of put some feelers out there that she was interested in me. So I was like, okay, a girl's interested in me, that's good enough for me. And so I asked her out, and we ended up dating again for 3 months or something like that before it all ended. But anyways, it was definitely this weird relationship where she was definitely like, it was the first girl I think that ever said I love you to me, which I thought was weird, because even when I was in freshman high school, I still thought, that's going like too fast, saying I love you. So of course I had to say I love you back, because I was like, oh, you're put in an awkward situation where you're like, I gotta say I love you back, or it's gonna feel really weird between you. So I remember not feeling great about saying I love you to this girl, but I felt like I needed to. And she, like, I don't know, and she got me like this necklace. I had like a thing that like connected to her necklace. I mean, it was crazy, but I mean, I liked her a lot. It was, again, I liked kissing her and all that. It was great. And we had this, okay relationship and everything. And I remember she wrote a letter, and she put the lyrics to I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Aerosmith, because that was a song we danced to, And so I remember that. I was like, wow, that's kind of romantic that she did that. Anyway, so that's number 4. speaking of Jenny, also it's definitely one of the weirdest endings to a relationship I had. Uh, like so, I don't know, we probably went out for 3 months or something, and she then told me she had to talk to me. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And she revealed to me that she kissed another guy that was in my class that I was kind of friends with, not best friends, but like we were friendly. Yeah, and she revealed to me, oh, they worked together, and she kissed him, or he kissed her, and she liked it, I guess, and of course it blew my mind. I was like, what? Like he kissed another guy? Like I wasn't expecting that, you know. And obviously, it's very hard to hear those words, and you know, very hurtful to hear that this girlfriend of yours is, you know, kissing somebody else, and you're like, what's going on? You know, are you breaking up with me? And it was like, well, not necessarily. And I'm like, well, who do you like, this guy or me? And she's like, I like both of you. And I was like, okay, this relationship's not going to work. You can't have two boyfriends. So I was like, and then she was like mad at me for breaking up with her, which I was like, I'm sorry, like I can't share you with another guy. But it was a weird thing. A lot of drama. Man, I'm glad I don't have those high school dramas anymore. I don't miss that. It's over dramatic, all the relationships you have. And that was definitely one of the most dramatic, you know, breakups I've had, and all this anyways. But for number 5 on here, I put Don't Speak from No Doubt. This was before this time, but definitely was a song that kind of encapsulated that moment where she was trying to give excuses, and it was like, I don't need excuses, just don't speak. You know, it was a nice relationship, but you know, it ended badly kind of, and don't need to speak anymore. So that's why I put that there. Now, fast forwarding to one of the biggest relationships I had after I graduated from high school. I was in college, and I was working at a nursing home as a laundry. I was the laundry worker, whatever you call it. And there was a girl there that worked in dietary, and she was very attractive, of course, very nice girl. You know, I would go flirt with her as much as I could when I was at work because I really liked her. And eventually asked her out, and we went out, and we ended up dating for a year and a half or so. And I was so in love with this girl, and I thought she was in love with me, and I thought it was going great. I was like, you know, 25 or something at the time. So at the time I felt like I was ready to get married at that time. So I bought an engagement ring, you know, and I did all that, and, you know, asked her to marry me, and she said no. She rejected me, said basically she was like the daughter of a former pastor, and I don't know, I guess I wasn't up to snuff with that family, didn't think I was good enough for her. I don't know. So it was one of those things where it's like I wasn't good enough, basically. And so she basically broke up with me right there. You know, man, what a bad rejection. I was so upset and so sad for a long time. I was deeply depressed for many years after that, and angry and bitter. And I didn't have another girlfriend for quite a while after that because I was just so hurt over that rejection, over that breakup. Anyway, so number 6, I put Goodbye My Lover by James Blunt, because this was definitely a song I used to listen to quite a bit. You know, it's one of those songs like after a breakup, you listen to songs that make you sad for some reason, and you just want to cry. And so that was definitely a good one to cry to, was Goodbye My Lover. I really explained, you know, this idea of like, man, I thought we were going to get married. I thought we were going to have this life together, and it's over, and you have to say goodbye anyway. So a very sad song for a very sad situation. Another song, I have a couple songs kind of about that relationship because it was definitely one of the biggest ones in my life. Number 6 on my list, or sorry, that was 6. Number 7 on my list is a song called Somebody I Used to Know by Gaudier, which was a song I think was popular at the time. I feel like that was a song I heard on the radio quite a bit at that time period. And I picked this song because I remember hearing the song and just feeling like, oh man, this kind of like what I feel like in my relationship, just getting broken up. And because the weird part was we still worked at the same place. We still worked at the nursing home. I was going to college still. I was about ready to graduate actually from college, and I was working part-time. And so I would still see her at work, and there's nothing worse than, especially in a bad breakup like that, and then having to go to work and see that person. Even though we were 2 different departments, of course, we would see each other in the hallway, and it was very awkward, and it was really horrible and heartbreaking to see her. And I just remember the song thinking like, yeah, it was weird that because somebody I used to know, it was kind of the song about breakup, and then that person kind of forgetting you, and you kind of go, and it kind of explains like you go from being in love with this person, thinking you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person, to that's just another person. That's just somebody. I used to know that person, and now they're nobody to me. Anyway, so I feel like that song really explains that idea. It's just a weird feeling of seeing that person that you thought you're going to get married to at work, and it's just like, no, that's no longer my future wife. It's just somebody I used to know. Anyway, so that was a good song for that. Then number 8, obviously another song I used to listen to a lot after this period was a song called "Gives You Hell" by All American Rejects, which is more of an angry song because I definitely was very angry at the time. And I remember hearing the song. I used to have an iPod, and I used to play the song nonstop. I mean, just nonstop. A couple of these songs I just couldn't stop listening to because had so many emotional feelings about this at the time. So "It Gives You Hell" was, a song about after a breakup and saying, I hope when you see me, it gives you hell. I hope it upsets you. And so it's more of a song of like, I hope you're miserable. Like, it's not a good, like, goodbye, I hope you have a good life. It's goodbye, I hope you're miserable kind of song. So I definitely felt those feelings at the time. Anyway, so that's there, number 8. Number 9, I put "Somebody to Love" by Queen, because I definitely had this feeling, because I said a couple of years at least, several years where I feel like I couldn't get back into trying to find a girlfriend or get in relationships because I was so hurt by that one, and definitely felt this feeling like, will I ever find somebody to love? Because now I'm getting to my late 20s, and I felt like I should be, married by now, should be starting a family, and now I'm in my late 20s and I'm single, and it's felt like, am I ever going to find anybody? I don't know. So that's definitely a song that really captured that feeling at the time, like, can I find somebody to love? Is it possible? Anyway, so that's number 9. Then kind of another story that goes after that. I actually ended up meeting a girl from the Philippines. She lived in the Philippines through a cousin of mine. I had like a second cousin or whatever that's from the Philippines who married into my dad's family, married one of my dad's cousins. And my mom said that I should try to find a girl in the Philippines because I don't know why, that was her idea. And I was like, well, my love life's going nowhere right now, so I'll do anything. I'll give it a chance. And so I was like, okay. So my second cousin for the Philippines set me up with a girl from the Philippines. And we talked on Facebook for quite a while, for a year or so before because I wasn't sure if I wanted to get into a long distance relationship like that. But the girl seemed very nice, and and I was lonely, and so I was like, okay. So we kind of became girlfriend and boyfriend, though we didn't see each other. We only talked to each other. I mean, I eventually would call her on the phone. We'd talk on the phone and all that stuff. And so then I was like, we did that for about a year, and then I was like, well, maybe I'm ready to marry her. She seems like a nice girl, and we have good, rapport. And so I flew to the Philippines, and this was, 2014 or 2013, somewhere around there, I'm guessing, 2012. I flew over there to meet with her and spent like a week with her and her family, and I proposed to her, and she said yes, and we got engaged. So actually, I was engaged to this girl. Anyways, while I was there, one thing about the Philippines is they love karaoke. At nighttime, you just hear people singing all over, and I was in Manila mostly, but you hear people singing out in the distance because that's like a favorite pastime. At nighttime, everybody gets together and they sing karaoke. Everybody has a karaoke machine. Anyway, so we went to like the neighbors of this family, and they were doing the karaoke thing, and of course I got involved. And so number 10 on my list is "Your Song" by Elton John, because this is a song I picked because I was like, I want to pick a love song to sing to this, my fiance. And so, so I sang "Your Song" to her, as kind of this, nice, lovely, romantic gesture. And so I put that on here because that was, interesting moment where I got to do that. Well, anyways, say I didn't marry her. We planned a wedding. I was working on, a visa for her to come over because you have to do a fiance visa. and they have to come over, you have to get married, and you have to fill out more paperwork to get a full visa. It's a whole lot of paperwork and, spending a lot of money given to the government. So I went through a lot of that. It was a mess. Not going through details, but the relationship just didn't work out. It just felt like it wasn't going to work out between us. We weren't getting along. She was constantly getting mad at me and breaking up with me, and it just felt like, oh, this relationship's not going good. And I was very upset during the whole relationship and during the engagement part of my relationship. Anyway, so I eventually had to break up with her. I said, I don't think it's going to work, and I don't want to get into a marriage with somebody that I think is going to break up with me at a moment's notice. And it was just, we were fighting a lot, and it's just like, it's not going to work. So, I mean, it's very hard when you're engaged to somebody and you're thinking, oh, this is someone I'm going to marry, and then it just, not working out, and you don't want to give up on the relationship, but it feels like it's the best thing to do. And so it was one of those things where it was a hard decision, but it felt like the best decision to make at the moment. So at number 11, I'm picking the song Say Something by Great Big World, which was a big song at the time. And again, it's just a song that really kind of explains my feelings of, because it talks about, say something, I'm giving up on you. And I kind of felt like, yeah, I'm sorry. Unless you change your ways, I have to give up on this relationship. Even though I was still in love with this person, I felt like I had to say goodbye. And that feels like the kind of what's saying in that song. One part it says, I'll swallow my pride. You're the one that I love, but I have to say goodbye. And I just thought, yeah, that definitely encapsulates my feelings of this relationship. And it's kind of a sad song, and it was a very sad moment in my life, though I felt like it was the right decision. And number 12, I'm putting Heart of Gold in here by Neil Young, just because I felt like the song kind of really, again, at the time, I was feeling like, it's talking about searching for a heart of gold. And I was like, man, I'm just searching for a nice woman, that could love me back. And I couldn't find one. And it's like, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble, because now I'm getting to 30 years old. And so at the time, it says, I'm searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. And I felt that way. I'm like, man, I'm 30, I'm getting old. If I don't find anybody soon, I'm never going to, find love and get married and all this thing. So I always felt like that song really encapsulates that part of my life. Of even in the song, it says, I've been searching for a heart of gold. I even went over, I think it talks about going, to different countries and searching for heart of gold. And I felt like that's me. I went to the Philippines searching for heart of gold, and I couldn't find it. But anyway, so that's number 12. And then eventually I did meet my wife, actually back in 2014 at the end of the year. We were working at the same nursing home. She was a nurse, I was a CNA. Some other people set us up basically and asked her on a date, and we just kept dating, and eventually got engaged and got married back in August 13th of 2016. And so for number 13 on my list, I pick Even the Losers by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, because that song about even the losers get lucky sometimes. And I felt like that, like I was a real loser when it came to love and to life. And finally, I found a girl that was willing to marry me. And so I was like, oh, okay, I finally got lucky. Somebody was willing to marry me. And so I feel like that song really, this song I just discovered in the last year or less, but it's a song I really love from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And I really, when I heard that song, I was like, yeah, that's me. Even the losers get lucky sometimes. And so that's a good song for that. And to end my album, I'm going to end it on number 14 on my list. Song on my list is The Dance by Garth Brooks. And I thought this would be a good ender because it really explains my feelings of my life when it came to all these relationships. I could have missed the pain, but then I would have missed the dance. And I always felt like that meant, yeah, I wish I didn't go through all of that pain of rejection and, heartbreak that I went through. I definitely didn't enjoy all that. But then there was all these good moments I also had in these relationships. So, you get rid of the pain, but you get rid of the good stuff. And so, and the pain and the good, all the relationships, shaped me who I am. So I don't want to be, bitter or feel regret over my relationships in my life, and that, they all happened for a reason, and it got me to this point in my life, which happily I am married for 6 years, almost 7 years now. So Dance is just a really great song that kind of encapsulates my whole experience. So that's the 14 songs I have on my list, themes of my life here at Bryer. So I hope that is a good list for you that will be in the competition. And so, yeah, so definitely give a look at Bryer's Music Showcase and enter this competition. And yeah, just thank you everybody for watching this and liking it. And thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all and hope you have a good day.